The goal of the Atlanta Public Schools should be to be the best urban school system in the country. That should be the goal here. It's been a huge amount of progress, but they haven't taken that next step. And anyone who's not on that page or that's not on their agenda, they need to find something else to do.
Those are some strong words from U.S. Education Secretary Arne Duncan earlier this year about the state of Atlanta public schools. Our next guest knows all too well the struggles the school board is facing. He served on the board for 8 years. He was president of the board for 5 of those years. Currently, he is an at-large member of the Atlanta City Council. Welcoming this morning, Aaron Watson. Councilman Watson, thanks for being here this morning.
Good morning, Ben.
Let's take you back to 1993. You were brought in to the board really to help solve a financial crisis. You were credited with accountability, not only with students, with parents, but also with teachers. What do you see here, the crisis that we're facing, as the underlying problem?
That's a very complicated question.
Is it accountability?
It's a complicated question indeed, and I'd like to spend a little bit of time trying to break that down. I'm disappointed, as a lot of people are. In fact, I'm mad, to be perfectly honest, at the state that we've allowed our public school system to devolve to. And I'm, as a council member, one who really just wants to express support for the system, support for the kids, and support for each of the school board members as they try to redefine where they are today. And I think that's what's going on with the decision by the president, Katim El. They're trying to reset the button and bring themselves back to sort of point zero and reestablish a framework for cooperation among themselves. And
was it a good move? Was it a good move for the chairman to step aside and become just a board member instead of being the chair? Do you support that decision?
I absolutely support the decision that the president made on his own behalf and for his own well-being. He was pressured from a number of sources, but more importantly, the public deserves to have a board that works together. When I was on the board, we worked much more collegially together, and I hope that they can get back to that. I'm saddened, by the way, that
then why not
had
get rid of the board? Why not get rid of the board? Start off with a clean slate. The governor now has the power. If they don't meet certain deadlines, he has the power to get rid of them. Why not start off on a clean slate if they have proven that they cannot work together?
You know, I'm not going to argue against that, to be perfectly honest. The point is, though, that they were elected by the public. We, all of us who live in the city, elected that board to represent us, and the public has the right and the power to remove them from office, either between elections or at the next election. And so I think that process is going to work itself out. I hope that the governor doesn't have to use that extraordinary power to remove the board members.
It seems through a lot of this process, there was a lot of passing the buck with accountability. We have a cheating crisis. Board members say they were feeling a lot of pressure from the superintendent. Teachers say they were feeling a lot of pressure from the superintendent. But you have teachers who were taking test scores, erasing them, and putting in answers for kids.
Well,
how do you solve that problem? It's not just one school. It's not one teacher. It's a group of schools and a large group of teachers.
Well, I mean, you touch on the core issue. And as I talk to people around the city, that's what parents and that's what people around the community are really furious about. They're furious about the potential of the alleged cheating scandal. And one of the issues that I think folks haven't focused on entirely is why SACS, for instance, will come out and put all the focus on governance issues among the board members, which has nothing to do with the success, very little to do with success in the classroom, and put no focus on the cheating scandal. And that's why so many people, I think, in the community are really furious about this whole situation and the risk that it puts the city in terms of great losses in property tax values as a result of the potential loss of accreditation. I think that SACS might have been misfocused. It's certainly misfocused when you compare it to what the community is talking about by focusing on board governance and leaving the issue of accreditation, leaving the issue of the cheating scandal off the table.
At risk right now, students' futures. If the schools lose their accreditation, they don't have a chance to go to college. Students here are the ones that are most at risk. You were former president, you were part of this board. If this board doesn't get their act together, these students are going to lose the right for them to go to college. Do they get it done in the end?
They must get it done. The city is going to demand that they get it done. That's why you've heard the comments from the mayor and the governor. But every council member, every school board member has to do, and this is what I think Katim was trying to do by his statement, has to do everything they possibly can do to retain accreditation. I think they'll do it. I think they'll get it done.
All right, Councilman Watsman, thank you for being here this morning. We appreciate it. All right, coming up next, when we come back, the Atlanta public school system policy that one teacher says makes them powerless inside the classroom, plus this.
There's so much corruption going on in these school systems. Out there won't go by the law, won't go by the grievance law, won't go by open meetings law.
Well, the very outspoken head of a local teachers union is here. Why he says the structure of the school system encourages cheating.